good people? It is December 10th, 2012, and we are a little less than 48 hours removed, and we're still feeling the rumblings and the shockwaves from what transpired Saturday night as Juan Manuel Marquez knocks out Manny Pacquiao in 6 rounds in what some people are calling fight of the year for as long as it lasted. I mean, unbelievable, man. I mean, I'm still in shock in the sense of, you know, most of us boxing fans, look, man, we know Manny Pacquiao is not a hard guy to hit, but we also know that the guy's had a hell of a chin. You know, he's been in wars with the likes of Marquez, Eric Morales. You know, he's been hit by bigger fighters as well. You know, Miguel Cotto, you know, Margarito, and some others. But throughout all of that, you know, he was never even hurt. You know, I mean, I think in the Marquez fight, he got stunned from when Marquez threw that counter left hand. But you know, the constant has always been that Manny Pacquiao's got a hell of a chin, and that's what made it where in this 4th fight, at least for my prediction, which was a Pacquiao unanimous decision, you know, the idea is you're thinking that, you know, he could take Juan Manuel Marquez's punches because he has in the past. But we've also seen Marquez, similar to Pacquiao, kind of extend to filling in maybe to the weight, because he's right now like a legit 140, you know, but he weighed 143. I don't know what he weighed the night of the fight, but he physically looked stronger in this fight in relation to any of the previous ones. What made those fights close for Marquez wasn't his brawn, in a sense, more than skillfully what he can do in the ring and what he knew how to do up here. This fight, to me, turned into almost a mirror of the first one, where, you know, Pacquiao he got very reckless, you know, at times. And then, you know, when you see him dropped in the 3rd round, you're thinking like, holy shit, like, really? And after that, though, you started to see Pacquiao kind of pick it up. He dropped Marquez technically with the glove hitting the ground. I mean, but he stunned him, and you could see there were shots that there was particularly this one combination that Pacquiao did where he kind of like threw a lead left and then came up with a right hook, but like right in front of Marquez. You know, he didn't do it from a distance. He did it like kind of lunging in, and I think it's the 5th round that happened. He got hurt, you know. I mean, he wasn't like on wobbly legs, but you could tell the body language told me he was hurt. But leading into the 6th round, I'm already thinking like, all right, you know, Pacquiao's gonna start to really unleash, because you're starting to see at that point that Marquez is backing up. He's not throwing as much as he was when he landed that right hand or prior to that. But as the old saying of boxing goes, man, always keep your hands up. And Pacquiao went in right with 2 seconds left and walked into a perfect, calculated counter right hand. And you could see Marquez was trying to land that punch earlier in the fight. If you watch the fight, I watched the fight again yesterday. If you watch the fight, he's trying to land that punch, and he couldn't have landed it any better. Like, I think the only way that he could have landed it maybe equally is if he caught Pacquiao like directly on the jaw. But like, he caught him on the chin going down, which will knock you out too. It's a historic night for boxing, but for Juan Manuel Marquez, I think he cements his legacy as one of the greatest Mexican fighters, without a doubt, in this generation and throughout history. So a big congrats to Juan Manuel Marquez. I mean, this is like what some people have described as a Rocky story, even though Marquez in his own right, beyond Pacquiao and their saga, he's had his own career that will stand the test of time. So this is really just, I guess, the cherry so to speak, and he's apparently going to continue to fight. I mentioned, if he retired now, man, I mean, what a way to... I mean, this is some Hollywood shit. This is something that you can literally make like a Pacquiao versus Marquez movie, and then like it just end like this. It's poetic. But he's going to probably go on to fight still. I mean, because of the fact that now he's going to be making real good money. And the obvious fight that most people would speak of is a fight with Floyd Mayweather, but that doesn't make sense, at least yet, because of the fact that Marquez got wiped out by Floyd a couple of years ago. And, realistically, man, Marquez is a 140-pounder. You know what I mean? And Floyd's just a bigger guy. He could have fights with Brandon Rios. He could have fights with Lucas Matisse. Is he going to take a fight like that? What happens to Manny Pacquiao is the big question. Manny Pacquiao is in the most vulnerable and I would say the most challenging times of his career, without question. I mean, he's had now technically 2 defeats in a row. Obviously, the Bradley fight is what it is, but this is a devastating loss, man. And Bob Arum, he's doing the post-fight interview, and he's saying, like, just because somebody gets knocked out like that doesn't mean they can't come back. And I'm like, yo, man, look in the history. I mean, date back as far as you can. When you get knocked out like that, very seldom, not to say that this has never happened, but very seldom does a fighter ever come back to their form as they were prior to that. We've seen it in cases with Roy Jones. I mean, obviously the weight cut was an issue too, but we've seen it with Roberto Duran. We've seen it with Muhammad Ali. It gets to a point where you don't want the guy to fight anymore. You know what I mean? And I hate for Manny Pacquiao to be in that situation where he just continues to fight because maybe his ego's telling him, like, you can still do it, because I think that's happening. What's going to be happening with Miguel Cotto, I think he's going to be fighting on a little too much than he needs to. So obviously the Mayweather fight, 86 that shit, because it is history, man. Like, or not even history, it never was. and it's sad, you know what I mean? It's sad because regardless of the outcome, there's certain fights in every generation that you can pinpoint the times. And Mayweather versus Pacquiao, regardless of what you thought of it, was that fight that we would have talked to our kids about and said, yo, this was, like what Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard was. I mean, as long as that took to make, it finally happened. And it's a fight we still talk about today, and it's this fight that is still debated amongst hardcore boxing fans. We'll never get that opportunity with Pacquiao and Mayweather, and even if they were to set it up by some fucking freak way, it'd be irrelevant. And at this point, as I've said to like many people that I talk to, talk about boxing with, I'm ready for the new generation, man. Let's get on with the Adrian Broners, man. Let's see what Brandon Rios is gonna do. You know what I mean? I mean, is Timothy Bradley gonna flourish even more? What's gonna happen with Canelo? What's gonna happen with Andre Ward? I mean, there's a lot of fighters that we can start concentrating on now that, truthfully, the biggest money fight in history is really just down the toilet. So now it's up for really the new generation to take it to the next level, man. And things like this happen in boxing, man. It's happened for many, many, many years. So is Floyd Mayweather next in line to catch Canelo? I mean, we don't even know. He's looking to fight Robert Guerrero. possibly Canelo Alvarez in the fall. So who knows, man? I mean, those are winnable fights for him, in my opinion. But you know, he could get old overnight, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So all I can really say, man, is Juan Manuel Marquez shocked the world, and I couldn't be happier for him because I think he's an excellent fighter, and I think he's obviously gonna be a Hall of Famer, and he's gonna go down as one of Mexico's greatest fighters. I mean, top 5 maybe top 10, obviously top 10, but we'll see what happens with Marquez from this point on. So let me know what you think Pacquiao should do. Should he retire? You know, who do you think he should maybe fight next in a comeback fight? I think he should really get some rest and really evaluate his life and how it coincides with boxing. Because if he doesn't take it as serious as he does or as he used to, this won't be the last knockout we'll see on Manny Pacquiao. So, like I always say, man, subscribe, hit up the links, and I'll be back soon.